Oh, there you go.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was privacy. The winds blew hard and fear dipped down, blow me, crypto boys blow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. She'd not been but 2 years from shore when her value it began to soar. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take those bankers in tow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. Before the boat had hit the water, bankers came but never caught her. All in sync we hid and fought them, then they began to know. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. No chain was cut, no block was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the pirates' creed and took those bankers in tow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. For fear days to be no more, the crypto sank, then rose once more. Coins were lost, yet we do endure, and still that system did go. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the chain's not cut and the block's not gone. We pirates make our regular call, we're with the captain, the crew and all. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go.
Well, welcome everybody to the weekly meeting. This is Dream Team speaking. I'm together here with Fishy Guts, Low-Fat Milk Cax, and our core developer Forge. Now, our two usual presenters, Lutz and Draith, are away in an event this week, so they won't be with us tonight. But we're here to talk to you about some stuff that's happening with Pirate Chain and to answer the community questions, to basically all of us. So to just kick off with some stuff that's going on, you must have all noticed the new music initiative that was started by Low-Fat Milk, also known as DJ Fatal. And it has been, amazingly successful. It has been complemented by some remixes by other people, that you can find all on our social media channels, like on YouTube and Odyssey. And it has been fantastic because there is, a plan for a lot more of that going on now. But to go back to something else that has happened today before we get into more Pirate Chain stuff is, the very tragic loss of McAfee. And I wanted to get, some people's thoughts, because I know that people like Fishy Guts, who was earlier, very, very, very involved with the project and is around again. He was interfacing with him quite a lot at that time, and I know I had sort of a little bit in contact with him in social media. But what do you think, guys, about what was announced today?
I think that this whole group could probably talk about it for hours. And so, that being said, I will keep it very brief. Again, he was a big supporter of privacy, crypto, he has tweeted out talking about Monero and Pirate Coin as the only privacy coins he mentioned in a tweet over a year ago. So, as Tim mentioned, we had spent a lot of time talking with him and discussing with him about these things in the past. And to just have this happen, it's completely unexpected, especially with the way that they stated that it happened. So, yeah, pretty shocking, Tim, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, whether I thought that whether, you like the guy or, didn't like the guy, he did live his life, on the principle of freedom. And, he was, like you said, a big supporter of privacy. And, he's definitely too young. He spent quite a lot of time in jail. And, he was, announced suddenly dead today. Yeah, well, I saw his tweets. He was a little bit down. I mean, he usually didn't write like tweets like that. I have nothing. I'm all alone, um, and stuff like that. Like he was writing lately, but obviously, I don't think that anybody was expecting this. Um, and it's funny when it happens just before he's about to be extradited to be tried.
Cax, can you put up a poll in the chat and try to see what people's thoughts are on that, what Tim just said about the coincidental nature of his extradition timing alongside with his quote suicide?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that there's foul play involved because a lot of people recently who are high profile, they lost their lives in prisons where there's supposed to be a system where you're not supposed to do that, right? You're not supposed to have opportunities to do that, but um, you know, I think a lot of people are skeptical. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he got Epsteined, which is not, an unfair comment to make. And obviously, a lot of people are wishing him to rest in peace in our social media. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in about Epstein? If somebody from the audience wants to speak up, they can just raise their hand and we'll invite them to get, sorry, not about Epstein, about, sorry about that. I was talking about John McAfee and what happened today. So if you guys want to contribute or if somebody wants to come in and talk, be free to do so.
Down at the bottom of your Discord channel, guys, there's a little hand that says show requests or a little hand that says wave to speak, and you click that and we'll see it on there. And Tim or someone else can add you.
It's quite sad either way. Any kind of anything like that happens in the crypto space. Just people that were influential, whether you agree with them or not, it's still quite tragic, and it's a sad story.
Well, he was too young. He wasn't done influencing people in the world, putting ideas out in people's heads that they come up with on their own. But yeah, very interesting person.
He did some mentions of pirate back in the day, if I remember right.
Yeah, there was a tweet that a lot of people were retweeting today where he mentioned Monero and Pirate Chain in a tweet that he had. And, and that's a big thing because, back then, not so many people knew about us. And as far as I remember, Lutz interviewed John a couple of times. So it will be also interesting to get his perspective when he's back from the event, to see what he thinks about what happened.
Yeah, that's right. There was some interviews. I forgot about those.
So John knew about Pirate Chain quite early on from those interviews with Lutz. Yeah, I mean, somebody messaged me and said, some people might have helped him disappear. It's definitely interesting how, a lot of these people, they never actually go to trial, and they never, actually get to a position, to say stuff that they might know. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, on a more positive note, and if nobody else wants to contribute, we had quite a lot of movement in terms of the exchanges. So it'll be interesting um, to hear what people think about that. There's a good comment on YouTube by the Highlight Zone that says McAfee will be deeply missed. He was a beacon of truth in a world of lies. So yeah, he wasn't afraid to speak up his mind, was he?
No, exactly, and that was one of the really cool things about him. He was willing to take on that fight that a lot of us are afraid to do.
And he was really dodging it, wasn't he? He was just traveling from here and there, didn't give a rat's ass about, what anybody thought about him. And yes, okay, he did some very crazy things and said some crazy things and did some crazy things in the crypto space too. But, after all, he was, I mean, respect to the guy. He definitely got out of the corporate system really fast. Right, going back to the exchanges. So we got listed on Gate.io, and we also got listed on KuCoin very recently. So it'll be great to hear the thoughts of the community about, those two. I know that there's certain people in the team, and there's a specific shout out to Cosius, who put a lot of work in the background to sort of work on some of those, with some of those exchanges to make those listings happen. So fair play to him and to a lot of other team members who worked in the background to make those integrations happen. And we also have DigiFinex as well. So there's quite a lot of new exchanges now that are on board. We're obviously trying to get, as much as trading happening with those exchanges. And as you all have seen, is very choppy waters in crypto right now, but Parachain is holding somehow, as best as it can, a position.
Yeah, huge shout out to Cosius for his work with everything.
Yeah, I think these things, especially, something like KuCoin to happen, that's not an easy thing. It's not, a process which starts today and ends in a week. It takes months. So yeah, fair play to all of the people, because there's a lot more people that were involved in this. But yeah, I know that Kosius was leading the way, so there should be a lot of praise for him right now for achieving to make that, what he achieved to make that listing happen.
Amen.
And another huge win is, like, it's a non-KYC exchange, right? So you can withdraw, as I understand it, up to 5 BTC a day.
Yeah, that's correct.
Pretty handy. Forge, do you want to speak a little bit about what you're cooking in the development kitchen?
Sure, I can tell you guys what we're working on. I've just released an update to the full node to the team for beta testing. It's got Mulroy's offline signing code, which means that transactions can be built and signed on a node that is completely offline. You don't need to have a sync node to create a transaction. I know there were some people asking about that, so it's a nice security feature that's been added. We're adding BIP39 in implementation. What that is a 24-word seed phrase that will allow you to recover your wallet just from one seed phrase. The derivation path is different than our current path, so it will only work on newly created wallets. So if you want a seed phrase, you will have to create a new wallet and transfer your funds. Otherwise, your existing wallet will continue to use the old derivation path and will not have an associated seed phrase. The last thing we're doing is
Oh, 1 second.
Go ahead.
For me to understand this a little bit better, does
Mhm.
this mean that you will now be able to have a seed phrase in the full node wallet?
Yes.
And does that mean that makes that address then compatible with other wallets that we have?
All of our wallets will have a compatible seed phrase. If you have a seed phrase, it will generate the same addresses on the Light wallet, the full node wallet, and the paper wallet, and mobile wallets.
Quick question for you, Forge.
That's fantastic news.
If I set up a new wallet with a seed phrase, with a new seed phrase, and then I
Mhm.
import old addresses, will it encompass those addresses as well, or will it only be tied to that original new address?
It will only be it will only protect addresses that are created by that wallet. Imported keys will not be protected by that seed phrase.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
So the quick and dirty is to participate in it, you're gonna basically transfer them all to a newly generated address. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, the same seed phrase will regenerate the same set of addresses on any wallet within that Pirate offers. So if you want to have the same addresses on your Light wallet that you have on your laptop as the same as you have on your mobile, or if you run a full node wallet and you want to have a mobile wallet with the same addresses, that is all possible. You can do all of that.
That is a very, very tasty dish.
Mm-hmm. And it is also I also added the seed phrase to the paper wallet. So if you're going to generate paper wallets and you want to put those in your safe or safe deposit box or bury them in the backyard or whatever you want to do with them, and you later want to recover those paper wallets, all you need is the seed phrase, and it'll recover in any of the wallets.
Forge.
That's awesome progress.
Does this seed phrase give us HD addresses? Because from Librust Zcash, I see that it already gives us HD addresses from a single seed phrase. What I actually want to know is, does it ask us to use a new address every time we want to do receive any new amounts of Pirate? Of our,
No, that's
wallet?
that's entirely up to you if you want to generate a new address or not. That part of the functionality didn't change. You can add new addresses anytime you want with the new button in Treasure Chest, or you can use the Z get new address RPC or get new diversified address RPC to get new addresses that you want to have things received to.
Oh,
The difference. The
Just to
difference.
clarify,
go
sorry,
ahead.
before you go on, just to clarify, we still do not recommend for people to generate a lot of addresses to their wallets, do we?
I would not.
Yeah.
The more addresses you generate, the more it's going to slow down. What we did for exchanges was that we made the Z get new address. I'm sorry, I spoke the wrong key or the wrong RPC a few minutes ago. We made it the old Z get new address, which used to generate a new address and a new key every time it was ran. We changed that to generate a new diversified address, which means you get a new address, but you use an existing key within your wallet. The reason our wallets can slow down is because that every transaction needs to be decrypted or attempted to be decrypted by every key in your wallet. So there's a linear degradation between the number of keys that you have in your wallet and your wallet's performance. The button inside Treasure Chest, the new button to generate a new address, generates a new address and a new key. It does not generate a diversified address. But for the exchanges, what we did was we updated the RPC to generate a new diversified address so they would not have to update any of their programming or any of their backend systems so that our new nodes could just plug and play. But we did add a new RPC, which is get new address key, which would generate a new address and a new key, so that we would still have consistent functionality if we wanted it.
That sounds cool.
So, yeah, and all of your diversified addresses and all of your keys are all recoverable by the single seed phrase because everything is deterministic. The current wallet is also deterministic, but it doesn't have the seed phrase associated with it. I mean, I could have run the BIP39 against the 32-byte seed that's already existing in the wallet, but the seed phrase wasn't going to be compatible with the mobile wallet and the light wallet. That's why I had to change the derivation pass, because the light wallet and the mobile wallet, they use a 64-byte seed that's derived from the 32-byte seed. I'm getting pretty technical here. But anyways, I had to make some changes to the path in generating addresses from your seed.
And I mean, like, can we also stress that the work that you do with exchanges and what you guys did with diversified addresses is, pretty, groundbreaking, right? And the fact that you're trying to integrate, privacy technology into these, exchanges and how they do their stuff normally, you're taking them to a completely different path, right?
That's true. I mean, there's a reason that other privacy coins don't list as Z only. It's because most of the Zcash family wallets, they can't handle the volume. They haven't spent the time to figure out how to deal with all the issues that come up with dealing in only private transactions. Like you go and you look at Zcash anywhere it's listed as a T address. And nearly every other clone is also listed as a T address. None of them know how to deal with our kind of volume.
Yep. So we dealt with this a lot back in the beginning. We even just a handful of exchanges for I don't know if paying attention right around at the time, but it was a daily task for exchanges to have to rescan the wallets, update their wallets, and the trading would only stay on live for 60% of any given day. And then slowly we started figuring things out. Everything that you've done recently here has just been a giant leap. We've basically been just strapping extra horses to the front of the cart for the past whatever, and now you've thrown a combustion engine on it. So awesome. Really appreciate all those developments. As someone who went through dealing with users and exchanges every day, and too, and everyone who's been here for long enough knows it was a drill. So very, very huge thanks to you for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's weird because it is still kind of a battle with some of the exchanges that don't understand the things that we put in place. They think, oh, you're just a Z-class clone. You're going to do whatever Zcash does, and that's not true. We have vastly large swaths of vastly different code to deal with these wallet issues that come up.
Plus, it's not true that Zcash implementation in all exchanges is using transparent addresses, which makes things a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes it easy. So I mean the
So to help people understand a little bit, let's say the difficulty of integrating an ERC20, Ethereum token into an exchange from like a scale of, of 0 to 100, how much would you scale that at?
I don't know, 15.
And the difficulty of integrating R into one of these exchanges, how would you scale that from 0 to 100?
I would say a few months ago it would have been 100, but we've scaled that back to like a 50.
That's amazing.
So
That is amazing. Okay, so I think I think it's better to understand like that, how difficult it is to introduce a technology never seen before by those exchanges and to
Mhm.
make it work, and obviously we are facing issues many other projects are, and their implementation's a lot easier, ours are a lot more complicated. So we're still not in a disadvantage, right? And especially after the new code was implemented, we're now in a very good position to say that we can handle things a lot better in a lot greater scale.
I would think, yeah, after the last release, the 5.1.1-1, I would say that the node is significantly more efficient for exchanges to use. Because I got the archive transaction code really nicely refined so that it works really well. And I know some people thinks your node takes an extra few minutes to start up, but it's important. Because all of those, basically what we've done is there used to be one giant object in memory that would store every transaction your wallet ever had. And every time you wanted to get a balance or every time you wanted to send a transaction, your wallet would scan through every transaction your wallet ever had to find the bits of data that it needed to send a transaction. And over time, this grew and grew and grew, and it grew infinitely. Which is why exchanges, their wallets would blow up. They'd end up having to switch out wallets, and it's why pools would rotate wallets every so often. And it just becomes an unsustainable mess of data that's mostly irrelevant that the server has to cycle through every couple of seconds.
But it is also worth noting that exchanges such as Polarity, which has not seen the greatest volume amongst all exchanges, they are the closest to us, and they seem to have been able to run the code and very, very smoothly throughout with no issues ever.
Oh yeah, there's definitely different levels of competence within the exchanges. But what I was saying is that we've built new parts in the code. So now, instead of millions of useless transactions sitting in one object, we've split them off. We split them off into, these are our archive transactions, which are, there's 10,000 or a million transactions that I don't need the node to look at every time it wants to pull a balance or anytime it wants to do things. The stuff that happened 3 years ago that's been spent. I want to know what's happened, right now. What's unspent? What can be used in a transaction as an input? So we keep those in our active transactions. So we keep that small. So the code's interacting with that on a regular basis, but that object has been significantly reduced in size, which means significant increases in efficiency. And then we keep our archive transactions, which we use for reporting and research, and say some customer calls up an exchange and says, what happened to my transaction? It didn't go through, or any other myriad of questions. It can be reported on quickly without affecting the efficiency of the running node to process transactions, to get balances, to send transactions. So that's one of the major differences between our code and the other privacy codes that are derived from Zcash out there.
Hey, Forge, I've got a question that we often get asked from our more newer, like inexperienced users, especially in Facebook and things like that. And that's basically what are the pros and cons between the full node wallet and like the lighter mobile wallet. If you could just kind of touch on that a little bit and just explain what the kind of good and bad versus, and what's what.
Yeah, no problem. The biggest pros and cons of a full node versus a light wallet is your light wallet, mobile wallet depends on a server. It depends on the team running a full node that you can interact with. So your light wallet pulls down data from the server, a specific server, and then it will submit transactions through the server. Whereas a full node will connect to other full nodes to get the data. So the major downside of a light wallet is that you need to trust the team to, one, keep that server up, and then two, protect your privacy. We don't collect anything, we don't log anything, we don't log your IPs, but for those privacy-minded individuals, you need to be aware that you are connecting to somebody else's full node.
So you're still passing some metadata there that you wouldn't otherwise do with a full node wallet.
Correct. I mean, there are some good things about a light wallet. It's smaller. It doesn't have as big of a footprint on your computer. It takes less resources to run. And it takes less time to sync. I mean, the sync time on a light wallet it's not that long anymore. I mean, we fixed those problems. But it should sync within, 20 minutes, if that. And then once we do an update to the checkpoints, creating a light wallet you can be up and running in seconds. Whereas the full node, it's going to take some time if you want to actually download the blockchain and have the blockchain go through its normal process. It could take upwards of a day or a day and a half if you want to sync from scratch. You still have the option to download the bootstrap if you want. But if you're downloading the bootstrap, you're then again trusting somebody else's validation of the blockchain. So if you want to go the safest route, you want to go a full node, you want to skip the bootstrap and let the node sync from scratch.
Just be prepared to wait possibly a couple days depending on your internet connection.
Yeah, and it's not even so much the internet connection; it's just the processing of all of the private transactions. Because then the node is going to try to decrypt every transaction on every block with every key in your wallet.
Awesome. Thank you for the breakdown and explanation.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple people in the audience that have their hands raised. We want to take questions.
Somebody's also asking a related question on YouTube right now. He says, I have the Pirate Lite wallet on my desktop. If I download the Android mobile wallet and use the same seed phrase as my Lite wallet, will it link the wallets?
Yes, but only the first address. Skull Island only has one address, so you will only have the first address in your Lite wallet.
Okay, that's a very useful clarification. Okay. We have also some other people asking some questions on YouTube. So basically, they're asking, would you elaborate on this independent audit on the ARRR technology that should take place?
I think Cax is working on that.
So basically, I mean, I think the gist of this audit is that some people have suggested that, we need to audit the code because, Zcash was involved in that code, and, maybe they wrote something in that code which is not sort of safe. I mean, in my opinion, it's a highly technical thing, and from what I know, there's only very few organizations and people in the world that understand zk-SNARKs, appropriately to be able to answer that question and do that audit. It's also a very, very costly process. But, it's something that I think some people are working on right now, and it could be something that materializes, but it's definitely not something that will be done, in the next couple of weeks. It needs quite a lot of time, both in order to be set up and for the audit itself to take place.
Yeah, it's a very lengthy process, and not like Tim said, very expensive. So I think we're working on some fundraisers to be able to do that.
Somebody else asking which exchanges have KYC. I recommend to anybody who's interested to know about KYC requirements to go to our website, pirate.black/exchanges, and you will see there the KYC requirement, the KYC requirement or not, or KYC free, and you will see what the limit is for KYC. But you all have to know that KuCoin has a non-KYC account with a limit of 5 BTC per day. So unless you're a very large whale, that should do for quite a lot of people. Somebody else is asking on YouTube if the trusted setup is still getting the boot, and if so, what's the timeline?
We are going to try to implement Halo 2, but I don't have a timeline.
Yeah, because again, we're talking about technology which is experimental. We have to state again that it's overstated what a huge problem the trusted setup is. It's not really such a big issue, but for those who are extra worried or paranoid or whatever, we are looking to address that side of the code as well. But as Forge said, we don't know exactly when that is going to happen.
So is the audit going to affect that? If we audit the code now and then we go to Halo, is it going to have to be re-audited?
I don't think so. I think once we audit the core code, I think the stuff that then we have been adding on, it's has been very controlled by us. The core team here has run the code, seen the code, and they would have picked up little things that might have been that might have issues like very, very early on. So I don't think anybody's concerned about any of that. People are just concerned about code we inherited or took from Zcash as part of that fork process. So yeah, I think that's the main thing there.
Yeah, and to help kind of ease people's minds, also is that it is open source. It's on GitHub, so anybody can go look at the code. If somebody just is feeling froggy, go audit it. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole purpose of open source software, is that it's open. It's anybody is able to download it and to run it, and there are very capable people out there that can spot things. And indeed, if anything ever happens, projects are notified. But for us, it hasn't been, I think, over 2 years that we haven't seen anything wrong with the code. We haven't heard anything about the zk-SNARKs implementation having any issues. So things are the most solid I have seen in any cryptocurrency, certainly in any privacy project around. Somebody is asking, if you only have a handful of transactions on your full node, will it still take a day to sync?
Yeah, it does take a while.
I think Steve Stevens, these improvements that were applied, mean that, as Ford said before, it might start a little bit slower, but eventually you get to win a lot of things with the new functionality and the new abilities of the wallets.
It will I do have plans to work on the improve some of the aspects. Like I'm looking at multi-threading certain functions within the code, and that will help with the decryption of various things and move verification of the chain faster. But those things aren't implemented yet.
And I mean, we have to say also it depends a little bit on your machine as well, right? Because I seem to never have, I mean, recently, especially with all the new wallets that you have produced, every time there is a new wallet out, it goes faster and faster and faster in everything, in setting up, in rescanning, and in everything that the wallet does. It seems
Yeah,
to be
I
faster
keep
and lighter.
optimizing things.
Forge has done an amazing job optimizing the code.
Yeah, obviously we're all biased, but yeah, he has done a fantastic job. The wallets are running 100 times better than they were before, and as I said, with mine at least, I've been very lucky. I've never had a single issue since he took on.
We've got a couple people in the Discord audience. Do you want to invite them to speak?
Sure, Gong Gem, I have invited you on if you want to say something. You just have to accept. If you can see an invitation, let me also invite Ja, who wanted to say something. You can come on. Okay, to go through maybe a couple more questions.
So YouTube had a question about, is the mobile wallet less safe than the light wallet? You guys sort of answered that already, though.
Okay, so you're talking about the safety of the wallets, right? I mean, when we're talking about safety of the wallets, like Ford said before, we're talking about details here, and again about being a purist, because we're all the wallets are equally safe. It's just that, as Ford said, if you're using the light wallet or the mobile wallet, you might be leaking some extra metadata if you're not careful with certain things with your setup. But otherwise, they have a very high level of security. And I think Forge, if I'm not wrong, you're also working on adding even more security to the wallets, right?
I am. After this release, my next step is to look at encrypting the wallet.dat file or for the full node. So we keep looking at different ways to make things safer, make things more encrypted, so that we are more protected than we are now. But we're pretty darn protected now.
Awesome. We have Ja on board here with us. What's your question, sir?
Simply as well to what Forger just said, is the Parrot OS as well like extra security?
The what?
The Pirate operating system.
Oh, you know what? I haven't actually done any coding on the Pirate OS operating system.
Yeah, I mean the Pirate OS essentially, Ja, is an additional layer of security. What it does is you boot it through a USB stick, so you bypass a large part of your computer system and your operating system. So when you make a transaction using the Pirate OS, that's even more private because nothing interfaces with your computer's operating system. So that's the advantage right now of Pirate OS, although I know that there are plans to create even more functionality for it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yes. Something that I would like to see be advanced to, and as well with the Light Wallet. Just a quick question. With the obviously I've got the Light Wallet with the full node. if I was to just download the full Node wallet, I could just simply move my pirate coins from my Light wallet onto the full Node wallet. Is it?
Well, if I were you, I would wait till the next release comes out so that you can just move with your seed phrase.
Oh, is it my seed phrase? Okay, that's
Right.
the secret key phrase,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you go into your Light wallet, you'd export your seed phrase, it'll give you a 24 words phrase, and then when the next version of Treasure Chest comes out, you can, it'll ask you when it first boots up, do you want to create a new wallet or recover from seed phrase? And you just put your seed phrase in there, and it'll regenerate your address.
Okay, and that's from the new wallet. I'll just wait for the new wallet of the
Yeah,
full Node to
and
come
then
out.
you won't need to move anything. It'll just be recovered.
Oh, just recovered. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. All right, great. Thank you for that, Forge.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. Okay, to also answer publicly to somebody who's asking on YouTube about the new paper wallet release, they're asking if it covers which operating system it covers, but I think it covers them, Forge, right?
I compiled it for Linux using Ubuntu 1804. I cross-compiled it for ARM, so Arch64, Mac, and Windows.
Okay, fantastic. So it covers pretty much everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've invited Gong Jim.
Okay, so somebody.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Can you hear me now?
Gong Jim, yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Sorry, I had a bit of a malfunction earlier. Yeah, I want to go back to the original thing where you were saying about keys, because I wasn't sure whether you said that the old keys would not accept the new seed phrase. Is that right?
If you have an extended secret extended spending key, that will always work.
Well, the reason I ask is because when I updated to the latest version, 5111, it automatically created a new key, and it really confused me, and it took a while for everyone to realise that it created a default key when I created the update. So now I've got two keys by accident, and I don't really want to create another key, because it sounds to me as if it would be better to recreate the wallet prior to exporting the funds somewhere else, say to the Light wallet. And then importing with a new key and a new seed phrase, so everything is kind of up to date. That's how I thought it would be a good idea to do. Good idea to do.
When Treasure Chest starts and it creates a new wallet, it automatically creates a single address with a single key. If you're recovering from a seed phrase, it will do the same thing. It'll create the first address with that wallet seed, which would be the same address your Light wallet or your mobile wallet creates.
Yeah, but currently I've got two addresses, because as I said, the update created a new address, so I've got two, but it confused me at the beginning because I didn't know where this other key address came from. So you were saying earlier about if you've got too many keys, it slows down the wallet.
Two's not going to slow you down.
Okay, so what is a bad number of addresses to have in?
It's really dependent on your system and how fast your system is. Because different systems are going to be able to handle different amounts of keys differently. If you're running on a first generation Pentium, you're probably only going to want one key.
It's a second. It's a second generation i7.
That's an older model CPU.
Yeah.
You'd probably be able to handle multiple keys, because that's still a pretty powerful CPU.
Yeah, so I still go back to the question again of would it be a good idea to recreate the wallet from scratch, because with a new keys, with a new seed system?
That's entirely up to you. Yeah, like I said, it's entirely up to you and how your wallet is performing and how many keys you have.
Okay. If I, for example, not deleted the wallet, but exported the funds out to the Light wallet, deleted the wallet.dat for Treasure Chest, reopened it up, and then created a new seed and then transferred the funds from the light wallet back into the treasure chest, would that be possible? Would it have to download the entire blockchain again?
No, that would be possible. It wouldn't download the blockchain.
Okay.
I would.
That seems like quite a neat way to do it to me. That's just me putting it out there.
Or you could just transfer your funds to the light wallet, and then when the new version comes out, just recover your funds with the seed phrase.
That's what I was just fixing to say.
But the new seed phrase is only on the new keys, though, right?
The seed phrase. If you have a light wallet and you have funds in it, you can recover all of your funds with the seed phrase.
Yeah, I tend to only use that as a go-between. I don't store anything in the light wallet. I only move things there, and then I move things out of there to the full node wallet to store stuff. So I only use the light wallet as a a hop, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's entirely up to you how you want to do it.
As long as I know that it's I don't have to re-download the entire blockchain if I wanted to create a new key and then re-import the funds. Export the funds and then re-import them again once the new address is created with the new seed phrase 24 system. Yeah.
No, you don't need to do that. I change wallets all the time without reloading the blockchain.
As long as you got your seed or your keys, then you can. You can re-import the funds back in. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much for giving me a second chance because I messed up the microphone the first time. Cheers, guys.
No problem. Thank you very much for your questions. Okay, so somebody's asking. First of all, welcome, Lutz. Can you talk?
He's on mute right now. He said he's streaming the chat right now at PorkFest where he's at. So I didn't know you had mentioned PorkFest, Tim, on the situation there. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with it. It's basically a Liberty and Freedom Festival. It's a week-long campout, basically, in New Hampshire or New Jersey. And Lutz is there now currently, and Captain Draith is on his way, I believe, sometime. And so it's really nice to have that exposure and presence there. So anything you guys say, they're listening to you. You got a crowd bigger than you think today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just saw him here. That's why I thought maybe he wanted to talk. I have another question on YouTube. Somebody's asking what protection is built into Ghost Ship OS connecting to the internet. Is it Tor, Mac spoofing? What are the features? Does anybody know? And there's also a question if the full node wallet will also be integrated in the Ghost Ship OS.
So the wallet is Tor compatible. In terms of integration, I don't have an answer. Forge might talk to Mr. Lynch about that. That would be something else they need.
I think that Mac spoofing was something that was discussed, but for the moment, full node wallet is not available on Ghost Ship OS, just the light wallet. But as I said before, there is plans for further development of that operating system, so we can have something which is ultra secure, ultra private, but also has more functionality than it has now. Okay, some people are catching up now to the John McAfee news, which is obviously tragic. We talked a lot about it in the beginning of the meeting. And somebody else is asking about CoinEx withdrawals. I know that CoinEx has been taking for a very, very long time to put the wallet back in operation. We have been bugging them and working with them, with their devs, to make sure that they can absorb the updates that we gave them, the new code, and that we can guide them as best as we can to bring the wallet back up. They haven't exactly done that yet, and we're waiting for them to give us updates. As I said, certain members of the team are talking to them every day, trying to get the situation resolved for everyone.
Someone mentioned today that CoinEx has got their wallet going. Someone was waiting a few weeks for coins and they got it going today. I haven't verified it, but that would be nice to see that going as well. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really one of those really annoying things right now because pretty much everybody else has caught up. TO is fine. I mean, obviously we have those historical issues with Cytex and GraviX that they're not really progressing. But in terms of all the other exchanges, we have gotten very far. TO is working very well. Bitcoin.com now is back up, and obviously we have all these new exchanges. Obviously, in the first few days, as we said before, with this very brand new privacy technology to all of these exchanges, sometimes they will struggle here and there. So everybody has to understand that, the work that the development team is doing to get us integrated into those exchanges is second really to none. There is, I mean, only maybe the very few projects in the beginning have had to go through what our devs are going through with the exchanges right now to make sure that you can still trade, but we can still keep that private aspect of the chain intact. So we're still all about privacy, and we're still uh, you know like a very, very strong privacy protocol.
Sure. While we're on the topic of exchanges, I just wanted to bring up that, as you mentioned, we're on KuCoin and Gate.io, which are both two top 10 or maybe even 5 exchanges. It's fantastic news. What I know that the team would love to hear is feedback from users who are using it. You know, the withdrawal took 8 hours, the withdrawal took 2 minutes, they don't show it listed, I can't track my country. Any of this feedback is valuable. So as users, if you guys do have any, please feel free to drop it in the weekly meeting chat channel and Discord. That's probably the best place for now. Unless you have a different spot, Tim, you'd rather have feedback exchanges in.
Yeah, I'm watching all the chats. I mean, there's obviously people also watching us now in Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and on Float. So, people can comment there in the chats, and then we'll try to answer all their questions.
Even if it's not just a question, if you guys have a comment, you have positive feedback, we love to hear that stuff too. It's good to know that the efforts are being done in the right spots, and they're picking the right exchanges. Cosius and all these other guys is paying off in the right way.
Oh, actually, there are quite a lot of those complimentary comments. We just don't read them out. So there is quite a lot of people, thanking us for the work that we're doing. There's Bud White on YouTube that said, "Thank you for all the security you have put into this pirate chain crypto." So there's, as I said, there's quite a lot of very, very nice comments also on YouTube. About the videos that are being produced, about the weekly meetings. The support we get from people is incredible. And, we sent out a big thank you message to, the 15,000 of you that follow us on Twitter. But we have to also highlight, the amazing work that some of the community members are doing out there, on their own time and, on their own accord, to go out there and, try to, to shout as loud as they can about Pirate Chain to everybody. So, people find about us. And there is, I need to make a list. There's just simply too many people that are doing this right now, producing incredible content, amazing memes. I think we can highlight, Patrick Friggins, I think is his name um, on Twitter. I mean, he has been doing some incredible stuff, and recently he ran a competition with 250R just on his own, I think, from his own funds. So, it's just stuff like that that we see that is incredible by the community. And we want to say to everybody that, every comment you make, every meme, every tweet, every like, everything counts. All of these things, amount to something great because they help us to introduce Pirate Chain to even more people. They help us to grow the community. and they help us to make the project better, because we can attract more developers, more talented people that can help make this different financial reality to come together. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. Somebody's asking, where can I get bumper stickers with Pirate Chain?
Human Action. I don't know if he has any pirate ones, but I'm actually looking at something like that and a few other things. Does anyone know if there are any pirate stickers anywhere? If not, I have a guy who makes stickers. We can get on that.
We have a channel in Discord called Marketing Ideas. For anyone who wants, certain things, who thinks things would be a good idea, please go there and please drop your ideas, because we definitely use them. And also, please keep posting all the fantastic images and memes and videos and all the really cool stuff you do, because that makes our work a lot easier, and it also helps us post stuff from the community, which helps it make even more of a community project than it already is. So somebody's asking, is there official Pirate Chain clothing? I don't think there's something official, but as Fishy said, at least at the moment, but as Fishy said, there is humanaction.io, which is a fantastic shop that does really cool stuff for pirates. Okay,
So there's what we did is, instead of having just a single outlet, because we didn't want to rely on anyone. Remember, no heroes. We didn't want to have a single point of failure, because we used the design deck guidelines to provide to people who wanted to make merchandise. So I know there's a couple guys. I put one name of the place, Built on Blockchain Shop. I know does stuff. Satinder linked the hat that they have in the shop. I actually have two of those. They're great hats, by the way, just beyond the pirate stuff. They're nice hats. So check it out. And then also, I would say, Tim, that the Armada probably has all of the resources people need to go into Seiko's Armada.com and find a shop.
No, that's a very, very good point. So armada.com has all the different merchants that accept ARRR. You can buy from clothing to marketing services to even a new nose, or you can even, I think, stitch back any members that missing from you, because we have the doctor of the husband of Lorena Bobbitt, who who is a plastic surgeon, and he will accept R for his services.
So anyone under the age of 30, Lorena was the lady who cut off her husband's penis back in the day, drove down the road and threw it out the window in a field when she was young. So the plastic surgeon who fixed him is currently accepting R.
Only he fixed him. He went on to become a porn star. This doctor is amazing. Highly recommended.
And better, stronger, faster. So yeah, the Armada is great. If you guys have any friends who have an online shop who want to accept, let Seiko know. He can help get you in the right place for the plugins and get you to the shop real quickly. I believe there's even a form on his site to fill out, so you don't even need to reach out to him. You can just handle it yourself.
Yeah, so there's a lot of a lot of goodies there, a lot of stuff you guys can check out on Armada, and it's very, very important that we support as much as we can all the merchants that are on Armada, because they are part of the adoption process for Pirate, and the more we use these services and these merchants, the more we support Pirate Chain. Okay, let's see if we have any other further questions. Somebody says, I've got a number on my car from the DVLA, which is the organization that gives you, a sign in England and in the UK in general, saying R at the end of it. I will upload the pic on Discord later on. Well, you really guys need to see Low Fat Milk's car. I mean, that's something to behold.
I met Low Fat like, I don't know, 2 years ago in Discord, and I knew right away he had a cool car because he has that Holden logo for his user AVI.
As far as I understand it, he's going to pirate his entire car. He's going to put little stuff and symbols and things everywhere. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
You guys crack me up.
Low Fat, do you have a first edition pirate coin to put on the car somewhere?
You know, Drath and I were talking about that. So all I'm doing is I have a 2021 Ram pickup, and I got the idea because on the side, the badging, the OEM badging says Ram, and I was like, oh, that'd be so cool if that said R right there. And so then I contacted a company that makes custom badges, and so I'm having basically custom badges made that are all relevant to Pirate and using the imagery and stuff from the media kit. And so we're just rebranding the truck. It's basically, Pirate themed in that regard. So it's all blacked out and it's going to have black badging and it's going to look pretty cool. So we talked about taking some first edition Pirate coins and actually, integrating them into the badges on the truck. I don't know if we'll actually do it or not, but it's talked about.
Well, I know they're few and far between nowadays. I have at least one I'd be willing to give up for this project. Maybe two if I look around.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Hot Milk, is it true or is it a rumor that you are cooking more music?
I am working with a couple different studios and a couple different DJs that come up with some different remixes. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff in the works.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to hear that stuff. Somebody's asking, what's the status of the Freedom Fest in South Dakota in July?
I have no idea.
Okay, I think the people that know this stuff, like Lutz, are probably unavailable right now, so we'll give you an update on that next week.
So I don't know. Do you guys know if we're doing the Pirates Festival in the Cayman Islands this year? I think it's hopefully so far. Doesn't even know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know for sure yet. I mean, I think there has been some communication, but yeah, like I'm not too sure if we know 100% yet. I think it will depend on how the situation unfolds with everything that's happening.
I don't know about you guys, but I'll go have my own pirate party in the Caymans, and you can all come to my party if you want.
So there's I don't know if anyone's in Southern California, but on Catalina Island in September 30th, on September 30th to October 2nd is the Buccaneers Days, and it's basically a pirate festival on Catalina Island. It's camping or hotels. It's 3 days of pirate debauchery.
That'll be awesome.
I am probably going to do a booth or a sponsorship or shop. Will advise more on that over the next month once I hear back from all of the vendors and stuff. It's the same group that puts on the Catalina Wine Mixer, so it should be a good time.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so basically Admiral Tricorn, he's going to be at Burning Man this year, and he says he's going to spread the word about pirates, so that sounds amazing. And we had also Vanilla Lifer on Float, who's suggesting that we try to get on shopping.io. So, if anybody has any connections there or has anything to suggest, I think that'll be quite cool for us to get integrated in a place like that so more people can buy stuff with Pirate Chain. Somebody's asking also on YouTube, when's the new silver pirate chain coin going to be available for pre-order? I think we have to ask the captain about that, right? Because he does these coins.
Yeah, I don't have an update from Drath on when. I just know you talked about it, but it should be possibly in the near future.
Somebody's asking on KuCoin, can you buy R with credit card by getting USDD? Can't do that on the other exchanges, right? Is that correct?
I haven't tried KuCoin. I do have an account there. I'm look into it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you can use a credit card in many exchanges to buy USDD, and exchanges such as KuCoin, CoinX, and definitely Polarity have R to USDT pairs.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if KuCoin does.
Okay, so I think we're going to an hour 15 minutes, and I don't see too many other questions. So if you guys don't have anything further to say, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I was just appreciative of you guys having me in today, and thank you so much, Tim, for leading the meeting, very much so, and Forge for answering so many questions. It's really something that I think the community values very greatly, because how many other projects do you know that will be this, open with their users? So thank you again very much, man.
Yeah, man. So it's always a pleasure visiting with all you guys. We do have one guy, DJ Sound One, that just raised his hand. Do we want to grab his question real quick, Tim?
Sure, yeah, of course. DJ Sound One, you can come on board. You're muted. We can't hear you. Yeah, we should be able to hear you, but we can't hear you at the moment.
Yo, DJ.
Yeah, I think he's having a few sound problems right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna make it, unfortunately. But look, write your question in the weekly meeting chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. I mean, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Forge, for being here, taking time out, from your very, very busy day, developing all these amazing things you do for Pirate Chain, to answer questions today. And most of all, thank you, everybody across all social media, for listening in and asking your questions. And we'll be back next week with more news about the project. So thank you very much, guys, for all your support. See you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, real quick, KuCoin does have the USDT trading pair on their site, so the BTC and USDT trading pairs for people who have the question.
Brilliant. Thank you.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was privacy. The winds blew hard and fear dipped down, blow me, crypto boys blow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. She'd not been but 2 years from shore when her value it began to soar. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take those bankers in tow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. Before the boat had hit the water, bankers came but never caught her. All in sync we hidden for them, then they began to know. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto golden rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take take our treasure and go. No chain was cut, no block was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the pirate's creed and took those bankers in tow. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto, gold and rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. For fear days to be no more, the crypto sank, then rose once more. Coins were lost, yet we do endure, and still that system did go. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto, gold and rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the chain's not cut and the block's not gone. We pirates make our regular call, we're with the captain, the crew and all. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go. Soon may the pirate chain come to bring us crypto, gold and rum. One day when the system is done, we'll take our treasure and go.